Look at President Trump's trade agenda and whether it may be in jeopardy under a divided Congress. There have been some new concerns coming up that House Democrats may put a stop or try to put a stop to the president's plan. So we're joined now by Republican Congressman Darrell Issa of California. He's, by the way, the president's nominee for director of the U.S. Trade and Development Agency. So in that new role, he'd be working with American companies trying to do business overseas. Trade would be a big part of that. Good to see you, Congressman. Thank you for coming on.
Good to see you, and you're exactly right. Export trade is a big part of the president's agenda.
Now, on this current agenda, there have been more stories being written and more people talking about the fact that the USMCA, which replaces NAFTA, still has to work its way through Congress, right? And that maybe, I don't really know where the Democrats stand. I think maybe they might be in line with the president on trade at some, at some times. But do you think that they're willing to stand up and, demand changes, that the votes might not be there? Should we be worried about that agreement?
Well, as you know, both under President Bush the father and Bill Clinton, it was tough to get NAFTA passed because it required the vast majority of Republicans and some Democrats. But we did it. And this new negotiated bill is better for the United States. Some would say a lot better. Democrats often say only a little better. But I think there's very little reason to vote against it. Having said that, certainly Nancy Pelosi could well try to attach something she wants to something that American industry wants.
So you're worried. You think we should be at least concerned they might hold it up?
Well, we certainly know this. It's harder for Democrats to vote for free and fair trade, even in a deal that's better for the United States. And that's one of the challenges that a Democratic majority has. Under Bill Clinton, he bent a lot of arms and did a lot of work and only got a minority of Democrats to vote for NAFTA.
Okay, on the other side of it, every single time we get a trade headline, it seems to move the markets. I think we saw a little bit of that even today, and whether it's rumors, speculation, whatever it might be. So we're definitely on edge with all of this. What about the G20, which is coming up soon at the end of the month? Do you think the pressure is building on the president to cut a deal with the Chinese, and might he be inclined to?
Well, the rest of the world wants us to cut a deal that they then can participate in. The Europeans, the South Americans, even Africa, all find themselves on the wrong end of a deal with China, and they hope that whatever we do will be a model for them. So in that sense, they want a deal, but they want a deal that they can then piggyback on. Right. And I think that's where the president's strength is he wants a deal if he's willing to do something that may be less than he wants, but enough for the rest of the world to get a real benefit. That'll help.
I think it's interesting, Congressman. This applies to your new position a little bit. I know it's backward looking, but shouldn't we have stayed in TPP if that was the case? Wasn't that set up to kind of put everybody, the rest of the world, all of us against China? We got out of it.
Well, as you know, TPP under President Obama was never put before the Senate. He never had the votes. So that's one of the challenges, is that people say we walked away from these two deals. Yeah. Neither deal was concluded and ever presented or even ready to present to the Senate. So, I understand people look at the president saying TPP is dead and I want to do bilateral is somehow difficult. But trying to do even bilaterals has been hard. And as much as I applaud the Obama administration for negotiating, they never reached a conclusion where they could say, here to the Senate, this is a good deal for America. And that's one of the challenges. For example, in the Atlantic portion of these two trade deals, they never even negotiated the most important part for American production, which was our agricultural section, which is currently a challenge.
All right, let's make this to be continued, especially as you move into your new position. Okay, good luck with that, Congressman. It's always good to have you on.
Thank you.
We'll keep talking about these issues.
Thank you.
Darrell Issa.